start the lecture. So in the last lecture, we have gone through certain topics, and that topics are cyclic code, CRC coding, and decoding. Today we would be gone through the new topic, that is convolutional codes, and we would be learn how to use the convolutional encoder to encode the codes, and as well as decoding method, that is a very popular method, Viterbi algorithm for decoding of the convolutional codes. So today we would be just go for encoding part. In the next lecture we would be go for the decoding section. So first of all, the basic intro of this convolution code, if you have to be see, it is little bit different from the block codes and cyclic codes. Convolutional codes offer an approach to error control coding substantially different from that of block codes. How it is different from block codes? A convolutional encoder encodes the entire data stream into a single code word. Into a single code word. In the block codes, what happens? It would be do the encoding in some segments or in block of data. But in the case of convolutional encoder, it would be encode the entire data stream into a single code word. It does not need to segment the data stream into block of fixed size like the block coding. And it is a machine with memory. If you remember in the block coding, that is memoryless system. Block code encoder is a memoryless system. It is a machine with memory. Okay. Convolutional codes often use the block structure in some special condition, that is called the periodic truncation. But in that case also, they use the redundant bit as a 0 that would be appended to the end of the input data sequence. So we would also see how they use this periodic truncation. The fundamental difference between in the approach we going to impart that a different nature to design and evolution of the code. Block codes are based on algebraic or combinatorial techniques, and convolutional code are based on construction techniques. So this is the basic difference between block code and the convolutional codes. So we would be see what are the features of this convolutional codes. So convolutional codes is specified by 3 parameters. These are n, small k, capital K. Okay. What is small k? Number of bits in the resultant code word. What is small n? Small k is what? Number of bits in the message. And capital K is here, it is referred as a constraint length. In some literature, it is also represented by n, small k, m. So do not confuse with them. And basically here, m is what? Capital K minus 1. Constant length minus 1. M is representing here number of memory registers or number of flip-flops, because it is a memory system, so it uses the flip-flops. Okay. So either of the representation you can use. So a convolutional code is specified by these three parameters, n, comma, small k, comma, capital K. Or it can be also represented in terms of code rate, that is k by n, comma, constant length, where small k by n is nothing but a coding rate, and it is represented by the capital RC, coding rate, that is number of bits in the message upon number of bits in the code word. Okay, so it would be determine number of data bits per coded bits. Practically, we use k is equal to 1. I have already told you in the first slide, it does not use the fixed block. It would be encode entire stream of the data in once. So it would be take one bit by bit data at a time. So generally we keep k is equal to 1 is chosen, and we assume that from now, and what is the capital K? Capital K is what? Constant length of the encoder, and where the encoder having k minus 1 memory element that I have mentioned here in terms of m. That is also the one of the representation, way of representation. So whatever the constant length, that minus 1 would be equal to number of memory elements or number of flip-flops present in the convolutional encoders to store the data. Okay. Now we have to see the block diagram of digital communication system. This is the block diagram of a digital convolution system related to or correlating the convolutional encoder. So what are the important elements of this digital communication system? First is information source, from where the information would be generated, and that information would be in terms of bits, binary numbers or binary bits. So it is having some sequence, and it is represented by the variable m, that is having k bit of data, or maybe any bit of data is there, m1, m2 up to mi. It is my input sequence, and that would be passed through a convolutional encoder that is having the rate of 1 upon a, means k upon a. Here k we have taken as a 1 bit at a time. So when the information sequence would be passed through this encoder, it would be generate some code word that is represented as a capital U, and it would be generally a multiplication of G and M. M is the message input sequence, and G is the, you can say it is a generator, but we would be see further when we have to be take an example what is the G is here. It is one kind of modulo 2 addition actually, and we would be generate U1, U2, U3 up to UI. Okay. Then these code words would be available to the modulator, and this modulator would be convert this binary sequence or data into the signal, electrical signal or whatever the signal, electromagnetic signal, that would be transmitted through the channel. So this signal is represented by the SIT. This is the input signal, and then it would be passed through a channel where it is a possibility of addition of some noise or errors, and at the receiving end it would be represented by SI cap T, means it is estimated value of this signal. Why it is estimated? Because there is a possibility of addition of error. Here the possibility of addition of error, so SIT would be become SI cap T. Okay. Now this would be gone through the demodulator, and the demodulator would be extract the data sequence, or you can say it is a received sequence. That is again a combination of actual code word plus error. So it is represented as a Z, capital Z here, Z1, Z2, Z3 up to Zi. And then from this received sequence, we have to be recover the input sequence M. So for that purpose, we would be pass this received sequence through the convolutional decoder, having the code rate again the same 1 upon n, and that output of this decoder is estimated value of input sequence M cap, because there is some possibility that error is present. We can never, in a practical system, we never able to recover 100% same input sequence. There would be some corruption in data because of the addition of the errors or the noise. Okay, but this estimated value of the input sequence is very much similar to the, or nearly matched with the actual input sequence. And in this way, we have to be send it to the information sink, and we would be recover original information that is generated at the information source. So this is a whole cycle, how to generate the information, encode the information for security purpose, transmission of this signal information in terms of signals, receiving of signals, extract the data sequence from that, decode it, because we have to be recover the actual message, then finally we have to be sync this information, and our task is complete. Okay, I hope all of you have noted down this block diagram. It is very important to explain the convolutional encoding and decoding method with the help of digital communication system. Okay, now we have to be discuss a rate 1/2 convolutional encoder, because throughout the discussion we have to be follow this rate 1/2, means k is this 1/2 is what? K is your 1, number of bits in the message is 1, and n is equal to 2. For 1 bit message would be able to generate 2 bit code word. So in the convolutional encoder, rate is 1/2 and constant length is 3. Whatever the example we are going to take here, the constant length is 3. So what it means? Constant length of 3 means it is having 3 shift registers, where the first shift register takes the incoming data bit. It is only for receiving of the input, incoming input sequence, and rest of the 2 shift register, or it is also called the memory unit, it would be form the memory of the encoder. Okay, the first shift register is for taking the incoming data bit, and rest of 2 is used as a memory element of the convolutional encoder. So this is the structure of 1/2 convolutional encoder. So everyone draw this diagram. So here you can see there is a 3 shift register, you can say there is S1, S2, S3. Out of this first shift register is for receiving the incoming input data bits M, and at a time it would be take only 1 bit because there is 1 shift register. Okay, and rest of these 2 would be used for the memory element M, sorry, K minus A. Which K? Capital K minus A. 1. Okay? Then these are the G that I have mentioned there in the block diagram of digital communication system. Okay, so it is a generator vector, you can say, or connection vector or convolutional encoders. So what happens here? We have to perform the, it is you can say, we have to perform the modulo 2 addition. Modulo 2 addition. So there is a two generating vectors are there. You can get a G1, G2. So in this way, you have to be see there is a two modulo 2 addition for generating the output U1 and U2. This is the output coded bits U1 comma U2. This is the first coded bit is U1 and second one is the U2. And U1 is generated from the combination of these three shift registers. So G1 is your S1 modulo 2 addition plus S2 modulo 2 addition S3, and G2 is what? S1 modulo 2 addition S3. So this is the computational logic here, you can say, and when it would be interlaced with this switch, you would be obtained a finally code word. Okay, this is the way actually we have to be generate the convolutional codes. So at each bit input time, a bit is here. Suppose there is one bit. By default, we have to be consider that. By default, we have to be consider that all shift register having the 0. Okay. So at any time instant, suppose we start the timing of encoder T1 time, there is a first bit would be come. Suppose it is 1. So the status would be like this 100. And when the next time instant would become T2, this bit would be shift here, and this place would be vacant. This one would be shift here in that at the time instant T2, and this would be vacant. And here the next bit would become maybe 0, maybe 1. So in this way, it would be the right shifting for every time instant. And because of this, every time instant you have to be take the value of U1 and U2 and determine the outputs bits. Okay, and this would be done with the help of these two modulo 2 addition adders, upper adder and lower adders. Okay, so this is the way that we have to be perform the encoding in the convolutional encoder. Now we have to be see the detailing. One of the example. So this is the example of rate 1/2 convolutional encoder. Here we have taken an example of 3-bit message sequence. So our message sequence is the length is actually 3, but here k is again 1. It is mentioned here 1/2. So small k is 1, means at a 1 bit at a time. This is the feature of the convolutional encoder. Okay, whatever the stream of sequence, it is here we have taken a simple example of 3-bit sequence. Maybe it would be 100-bit sequence. It doesn't matter, but your k would be remains 1 bit at a time, because here only one shift register is available for receiving the incoming data, and rest of 2 would be used as a memory unit. And finally, we would be generate the U1, U2 as a branch word or output when you would be interlace the switch between, you can say it is a G1 and it is a G2. So we have to take this example. You can draw this diagram or take the screenshot. So at the time instant T1, what happens? Our first bit, you have to be see, suppose you have to be starting from the LSB, this is the LSB and MSB is there, both having the 1. So 1 is coming here, first bit 1 is here, 1 0 1, the first bit is coming, LSB. The rest of 2 bits would be wait for the time instant T1, and by default it is 0 0 0. So first bit is coming at a T1 instant, so it would be 1 0 0. So status is shift changed of the shift register. Now what is the value of U1? 1 plus 0 plus 0, that means 1. Again here same U2, 1 plus 0 plus 0, sorry 1 plus 0, again it is 1. So output bit would be updated. For the T1 time it is 1 1. Now come to the next time instant T2. Next bit would become, what is the next bit? Remaining bits are 1 0 here. The next bit is 0. That would be inputted here. So when it would be enter here, the previous would be shifted 1 position right side. So 1 would be shifted from first to second shift register. And here the outermost 0 would be discarded or flushed out. So it would be now the status is 0 1 0. So what is U1? 0 plus 1 plus 0, 1. What is U2? 0 plus 0, 0. So again output branch word would be updated for at time instant T2. Now at time instant T3, only the remaining term is 1. Out of 101 message stream, it would only term is 1 is remaining. That would be enter here. And the previous bit would be shifted. Now 0 would be shifted at the middle one, and 1 would be shifted to the rightmost one. Now the status would be change of shift register. So U1 and U2 would be also updated. U1 is 1 plus 0 plus 1, 0. Even number of ones is means 0. And there is a 1 plus 1 again, even number of ones, so 0. So at time T3, you would be use all 3 bits of message string. But we would be also append flush bits so that all the actual message 101 would be flushed out from the shift register. So for that purpose, we would be use capital K minus 1 number of zeros to be inputted to the shift register. So here capital K is 3 minus 1. So 2 zeros would be appended here. So at time t stands for T4, first 0 would become enter here. So this 1 would be 1 is shifted here, and this 0 would be shifted here. So now status is 0 1 0. Okay. So it would be updated the U1 U2. It is 1 0 now. It is a redundant 0 or flush bit zeros. It is not the actual message. Okay. Actual message would be end up to the time T3. Okay. So everyone note it down or maybe take a screenshot. I am just activated your attendance chat box. So please enter your attendance simultaneously. Now we have to be moved for the next time instant T5. So at time T5 what happens? See there. At time T5 again the second flush bit, that is 0, would be enter here, and whatever the position that would be updated again. Here 0 was present, so it would be shifted here, and this 0 would be here 1 is present, that is shifted here. Now again output would be updated 1 1. So you can see here at time T5 we have flushed out the actual message sequence 101. Now this shift register is ready for new input bit stream. Okay. So what is would be the output of this encoding? So for a stream of data 101, when it would be passed through the convolutional encoder, it would be generate the output code word. First is 11, 10, 00, 10, and finally 11. You can compare this 11, 11, 10, 00, 10, and 11. So this is the resultant code word. So for 3-bit input string and addition of the 2 flush bits, total 5 bits as input, you can say, you would be able to generate a 10-bit output data or output sequence. So your resultant code word is 11, 10, 00, 10, 11. Now someone has doubt here or maybe a query, what is T6? When we have flushed out all at the T5, why you have mentioned T6? So T6 is not a part of this encoding. It is an indication of next input bit stream. So to flush the message from the encoder, we require 1 less 0 than the number of constant length of the shift register or number of shift registers. But here you can see at the T6 we have used another 0 is inputted for the reader to verify that flushing is completed at T5 and thus a new message can enter at time T6. So at time T6 actually our message sequence is 101 and we have also flushed it out up to the T5 by adding 2 plus zeros. But at T6 our encoder is now ready to take the new bit stream. So this 0 is just an indication of new bit stream. And when the new bit stream would be, maybe new bit stream is any number 100, whatever. So when it would be first data of first bit of that new bit stream would be entered, this would be completely ready for the taking this new bit. It is completely flushed out at T5. Okay. So this U1 and U2 would be not considered as a resultant code word. It would be a part of new code word for the new input sequence. So do not confuse with it. You can show up to T5 also, but it is a safe side to explain. You can also show up to T6. Okay. And we have taken the code rate of 1/2, but here we have used some method. And what is the method we have used? We have used the method to append or to add the flush bits. So because of that, what happens? Your code rate would be decreased from 1/2. And your code rate is decreased. Why your code rate is decreased? Because we have added the flush bits as a 0. So initialize the memory before encoding the first bit, all 0. Clear out the memory after encoding the last bit, all 0. So hence the tail of 0 bit would be appended to our data. So what is our data actually? We have uses the 3-bit message sequence and we have added 2 flush bits. These are the flush bits appended to the data. So because of this process, our code rate would be decreased from 1/2. So when this whole data would be passed through encoder, whatever the resultant code word we have generated, that would be, we have generated a 11, 10, 00, 10, 11. So this 10-bit code word, using this, instead of 3 we have used the 5-bit data actually. So what happens? Your code rate would be decreased. So the new formula for effective code rate is this. So what is the new formula? L is the number of data bits What is the number of data bits? It is 3101. So it is 3 L upon R effective is L upon N into L plus K minus 1, and that is less than RC, that is 1 upon 2 or 0.5. So you can see here our L is 3, N is 2, 3 plus 3 minus 1. So 3 upon 2 into 5. It is now your code rate is 3 by 10, means 0.3. Initially you have a code rate of 0.5, 1 upon 2 means 0.5. So 0.3 is less than 0.5. So when you would be use the method of adding flush bits, at that time you would be decrease the code rate. Okay. Now the time is over for entering the attendance. I am going to disable it. Okay. So I hope all of you have understood this process of convolutional encoding. If anyone has any doubt, please ask me. Otherwise, we would be see the next topic, that is the same encoder. There is a different methods of convolutional encoder representation, like connection pictorials, connection vectors or polynomial, state diagram, trellis diagram, tree diagram. So these are the different methods available in the literature. So we have now seen the connection pictorials. The next we would be see the polynomial representation of the convolutional encoder. Then we would be learn the state diagram. Then trellis diagram. Okay. Oh, Manisha Goshavi, ask the question. Please ask your question. Any question anyone want to ask related to discussion?